You hiss and groan and you constantly moan, but you don't ever go away. And that's because all you need is me. You roll your eyes up to the skies, mock horrified, but you're still here. All you need is me. There's so much destruction all over the world, and all you can do is complain about me. You bang your head against the wall and say you're sick of it all, yet you remain, 'cause all you need is me. And then you offer your one and only joke, and you ask me what will I be when I grow up to be a man. Me, nothing. There's a soft voice singing in your head. Who can it be? I do believe it's me. There's a naked man standing reading poetry in your dreams. You know who it is, but you don't like what it means. There's so much destruction all over the world, and all you can do is complain about me. I was a small fat child in a welfare house. There was only one thing I ever dreamed about. Fate has just handed it to me. Whoopee. You don't like me, but you love me either way you're wrong. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You don't like me, but you love me either way you're wrong. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. I'm going to be leaving soon, so you're going to miss me when I'm gone. It would be funny to have at the end, I guess. I don't know. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I hope you are looking forward to this evening, because we've got poetry himself. James is a feature that's coming up here, which is awesome. He's not here yet, but I figured I'd start with a song. Yeah. And also, if anybody knows anything about singer-songwriter night, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, this is why we were deciding to start off with music. Ross Berman, the host of Singer-Songwriter Night, is going to be doing music in our second feature for the evening, which is triple plus cool. But I'm guessing that he's probably going to be strolling up late. And if he is or not or whatever, we might end up with a couple of songs and do a little set of things in between, so we just flow things over into Singer-Songwriter Night. And I've just had a few more people come up. And before I talk about all sorts of books, because we wasted enough time with the song, I'm hoping that Joffre, who always knows I call him up first, are you ready to come in for darling? Please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Joffre Stewart. Come on, woo!
I'll do three. Two of them mine. This person from Vina Reynolds. We hate to see them go is her title. This is the last verse of it. The bankers and the diplomats are going in the army. We're going to make things easy because it's all so new and strange. We'll give them silver shovels when they have to dig a hole, and they can sing in harmony when answering the roll. They'll eat their OK rations from a hand-embroidered box, and when they die, we'll bring them home and bury them at Fort Knox. Oh, we hate to see them go, the gentlemen of distinction in the Army. This is one I read at Chocolate. It's
Let them eat chocolate.
It's based on an essay in this poetry magazine. I use the language of the author. The title is Addendum to Chasing Utopia. The epigraph is from Sherman Skolnick, who was reported murdered by Mossad 9 years ago last May. Report from anonymous source. New York City firemen, there were bombs in the building. Cyberspaceorbit.com. Crucial info evidence. Explosives toppled WTC. Nigger, can you kill the citizen in you, thereby embracing 7 passportless undeportable billions? Nigger, can you kill all wars without a modern modifier, negating the state that makes history? Nigger, can you kill? Can you rebel? Kill the source of TSA, murdering the hoax and fraud of 9/11 with the truth that it was the work of Mossad leading the Bush crime family, all covered up by important government agencies? Nigger, can you kill violence and find the peace that Egypt can't have? The pharaohs turning over in their graves and seeing Cairo conquered by Jerusalem. I know you will excuse me, Nikki Giovanni, for calling you nigger. It is your word, and you won't need it in utopia. Title, Peeping Through the Crack. That Liberty Bell rang out with the expansion of slavery as we come to another 4th of July, 1 year younger than Mayor Rothschild's Illuminati, a joker like slavery in the Enlightenment. Night times illumined by black churches burning with the passion of racists, rooftops collapsing, unsustainable by Nazarenic values of compassion, absent where drones convey the treacherous spirit of the Constitution, releasing 500 pounds at a time on survivors who exult in the cry, "Death to America!" which disturbs nary a barbecue where starred uniformed murderers are systematically shielded by sometimes sworn procedures in the legacy of Liberty Belled.
I will clap
that more, but I have books in my hand because I don't even remember who's second on my list. I believe it was. Who was on the list? Paul, you'll have to tell me. Who's next on the list?
Annabelle.
Annabelle! If you're gonna be cool, my darling, you would come after me, but I was going to be reading things because I gotta share all these book stuff things with you before I go. First things first, every once in a while I publish chapbooks that become books, and I just think this is the coolest one because he actually got, I don't know if she's a family member or not, a model. Painted, yeah, you signed it, Jerry, you're awesome. Model, she painted herself silver. I mean, like, covered herself in silver for taking, you're on there, Jerry, I gotcha. You better be on there, somewhere. Reading every detail about that book. Anyway, isn't Jerry's name on there? I thought I put his name on there. Spot number 3 or something?
Bob Warren.
Oh my gosh, then put your name on there, right, darling? I'm an idiot. I knew you. I'm like, I thought you were the third person up, but I just didn't sign anything. I didn't sign everybody in for you. Anyway, but the coolest thing about this cover is this girl painted in silver was able to do all these things for it. And he's like, I've got these things. I'm like, that's going to have to go on back cover. It's going to have to. This woman going to decide. There's a lot of cool poetry in here, and we periodically publish these things for people. I won't bother you with that. But just recently released collection books of issues, and I do it for cc&d and on the Dirt magazine, and the one for this one is called Adrift. And I thought I would just find something that was really short, and I was going to do a really short piece of prose in this, just because it'll be something other than a poem. This one's called Soybeans. Have you ever jumped in a vat of soybeans before? Yeah, it's a very strange, it feels like you're a kid in one of those playgrounds where you jump around in a pit full of colored plastic balls. Except soybeans are a lot smaller than those balls on the playground, and I guess they don't have all those colors in them either. Well, anyway, I went over to his grandparents' farm, and he decided to take me over for a tour of the farmhouse. The cows were smelly. I made a point to keep my distance from them, and I kept calling to the cow saying, "Hello, moo cow." And then there was a bunch of cats running around the field, so we picked up a couple of cats and held them at waist high in the air, and I kept asking them, "Do you love me?" And he kept asking me why I wanted validation and approval from the cats. Then he gave them some milk from his uncle's farmhouse, and then he took me up the ladder to the top floor of the barn. That's when he proceeded to take off his shoes and jump over onto a ledge. He told me to just join him. I couldn't quite see what it was about to jump into. I mean, it was almost dusk, but I took off my shoes and socks and jumped in anyway. And my ankles sunk into the soybeans, and I started laughing. And I fell, and I almost started to bury myself in soybeans. And then I jumped around a few more times, and then I just started throwing soybeans at him. And then I just laid down in the pit of soybeans for a while. They felt cool on my skin. I could feel the dust from them covering my legs and my calves. There are times like this, times when I just have to let go. And you said Annabelle was on that list, which I think this icon is a perfect thing for calling her up. Even though she's painted in silver. If she's ready, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Annabelle Echo. Come on up, That's really short.
Yeah, it's like what's up?
Are you? Here she is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know heights for things, but it's all up to you.
Thank you.
Oh, good, okay. Okay, just like Janet and John are planning a trip. Hello. Okay. I had a little to drink, so it may not sound like okay.
It'll be even better.
Okay. I'm planning a trip, going out to Air Force One, where they found all that stuff. They're out there, man. They're out there, man, I've seen them. I'm flying in a plane, and I'm always hallucinating. But who really knows what I'm looking at, know what I'm saying? You think there's little green men out there? Little green men, no. They could be made of water. I don't really know. Who knows, dude? Who knows? But there's no proof, just people's accounts. You're right, there's no proof, but there's no proof of Jesus. That's just kind of how I see things. I'm planning a trip, going out to Air Force One. Air Force One, where they found all that stuff. They're out there, man. They're out there, man, I've seen them. Out there in Austin, Texas. They're out there, man. On the good ship Lollipop. I'm flying in a plane. And I'm always hallucinating. But who really knows what I'm looking at, know what I'm saying? I'm planning a trip. I'm going out to Air Force One. Air Force One, where they found all that stuff. They're out there, man. Thanks.
I've got all my angel gifts made. You're gonna break my heart. What am I there? Like, well, you know, I'm expecting people like I'm gonna read 3 pieces or whatever, and I'm sitting here thinking that I wanted to read things from all of these books that were just released, which is just taking up a lot of space. I'll figure out a way to pull that off. And I see other people have shown up, and thank you very much. But I was going to read, because I know Jerry's coming up here, which is awesome. You can sit, you can do, oh yeah, there's no bench. There's whatever you want to do. cc&d magazine also did a collection book, and this one, thank you, John. And this one is called Salvation. I love pulling titles that are like from other people's pieces, and that's why I'm getting things like Adrift and Salvation. So I try to find a short piece in the middle of this one and share that with you because it's a collection book of issues, and there are 2 different editions of them, and they also include chapbooks as well, so you can get that as well if you're interested. But this is from Salvation, and this is called Violent Affair. How one-sided is a violent, passionate, sexual affair? Is it a small metal boat tied with a long rope to the dock, living to react to the tide, trapped there, pounding against that ocean alone? Then, with the tide rushing in, seeping out rhythmically, waiting for that tide to rush into the shore, see for that damn rope holding it back, then being taken away again to do it all over again. Spending its time held back and waiting, then almost being turned upside down by that rush, then recovering and waiting for it to all happen again. I just want to get this out because it's getting toward the end, and now I really want to hear it. I don't know if it's going to be a political bunch or not, but it's going to be triple plus awesome. Please give it up for Jerry Pendergast.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so one of the features is a guitar player, so this is Ode to the Guitar. Amped, unplugged, flat-picked, finger-picked, with, without, vibrato, wah-wah pedal, 12-string, 6-string, solo, teamed with drums, bass, horns, moves feet, tugs on hearts, inspires hip and shoulder shaking, miming. Debates rage. Is it real? jazz, folk, blues, soon rivaled the sax for dominance in the early days of rock and the violin for serenading. Strummed in garages, basements, chording, turning into serious notes, burned, smashed into amps at rock festivals, played behind backs with teeth, vocalists shouting to be heard. Okay, and this is called Concert Scene. A much younger man wrote it. Birthday celebration. In front row center, the quartet playing with ultra-amped rendition of Sweet Little 16. Lead guitar points the neck at four girls swaying together, plays a few bars of Happy Birthday, returns to theme. Lead singer sways with them, then backward boogies. The rhythm slowed, they're playing quiet before the last verse. Singer has his shirt open. Four girls running, weave through crowd. They're 10 yards from the limousine. Lead singer, lead guitar waving. Sweet Little 16 yells, "Where are you staying?" Doors close. Limousine pulls away. Four girls yell, "Cunt teasers!" Blues Train, Part 1, picks up speed away from cities, whistling long, high-ending notes. The wheels on tracks, a clipped percussion. Blues Train takes a wide turn. Blues Train rambling slowly over slopey terrain, a river in view. Did an ancient traveler ford the Mississippi, the Missouri, what we now call the Rio Grande, over and think of the Nile, the Senegal? Part 2, Blues Train chugging through our ears, our hearts, and back through the skin, through the fingers, breath, guitar harmonica, becoming whistle engine. Blues Train, infuse the bloodstream, soothe the tired muscles of the shiploaders. Blues Train, lubricate the joints of the dancers, pool players, and coupling lovers outside the sight of the window gazers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jerry. For you. And I know that a lot of people would say evil things about the fourth person that comes up on stage, which is why I'm going to ask Bob Rashkow to be the fourth person, because I'm just going to debunk that whole thing, because he's the awesomest thing ever. But before, and because I want to get through these things, I happen to have extra copies of all the issues of cc&d magazine. I'm holding this one in my hand. This is back when it was at volume 199.9, the Indian Summer Edition. It was like in the middle of August or something of 2009. And I was going to read a really short piece, and if anybody doesn't have an issue, and if they want it, it's theirs. Because I can be getting rid of these things before I move. But I thought I'd do this humorous little guy in here before I call it Bobster. This is called He Makes Me Think About These Things. I looked in my kitchen and I saw olive oil. Now, think about it. Olive oil comes from olives, right? So let's break it down. Peanut oil from peanuts. Almond oil from almonds. Corn oil, canola oil, safflower oil, grapeseed oil, flaxseed oil. Vegetable oil comes from vegetables. Essential oils are the essential oils from these things. I get it. But what's in baby oil? What is baby oil? I don't think it's the extract of babies. Puppy dog tails and just the right babies.
Just the right babies, right.
Maybe it's from those body parts they're accusing Planned Parenthood of stealing.
Oh, no,
But enough on that.
Planned Parenthood acknowledged they were selling it.
Right, that's true.
So maybe
It's
they're
not
getting,
just an accusation.
maybe they're getting into the baby oil market now. so you never know.
Now you know where baby oil comes from, Planned Parenthood.
All right, wait a minute. I want to put my glasses on for a second. I just want to see if I see anybody else who came in after Michael Hoag did. Did anyone else come in after Michael? And Dan? No, okay. Just checking. All right, so since this is the penultimate reading that Janet's going to be hosting, unfortunately, this is called Penultimate Poem, but it has nothing to do with Janet or John or anything like that. 16 cigarette butts piled up like a football pile, like pickup sticks in an ashtray smaller than the palm of my hand. My nephew's latest leavings, along with an I'm lovin' it paper bag of Golden Arch garbage. This is how we do it. I can't reprimand him. He's hardly ever really there. But I know he gets a lot to like with a Marlboro. I'm seeing red and white. Red for the cursed blood I would love to give back. White for a blank space that can never be filled. He's 25 years old this August. What is youth? How do I find it? Is there a GPS that will take me to youth? Must I choke on my own blood? Why do I depend on some nameless, faceless stranger to help me exist and take up all this white space? Look up, says the GPS. Turn left, turn right, go 4 miles. Are you paying attention? You have reached your destination. Did you hear me? I said you have reached your destination. Thank you. And now on a lighter note, an oldie but goodie. It's called Berry Bar. And if John Hartford were alive and here today, I'd give it to him, but he's not. So. The fruit of his labor was not ripe by a sinner. It flourished in salt baths, eclipsed its creator. He was born in apartments and raisin split levels. He had orange crushed spritzers for breath-minting lung power. We met in biology, plucked apples in the commissary. It almost went peachy, but he moved, was a goner. I spurned watermelons, I searched for bananas. The jungles were noisy. They tried to maraud me. I just want to find Barry, I screamed into no place. He's gotta be someplace. The monkeys glared sideways, taunted me with plantains, yet way in the distance, a long, endless counter. Behind it stood someone. He looked like a brother. I clasped that blue ribbon of sand, stand, and water, of Barry bartender who'll serve me forever. Thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
You're awesome. Well, and I think I will be here in 2 weeks.
Yes, you will.
So,
That's my feature.
Not quite at the end.
Penultimate means second to the last. Just in case anybody didn't.
but I was gonna ask, John did this because he won this book, and I believe only Bob Rashkow saw it, and he decided that at my birthday, he's like, well, you know, he would write stuff into it, but it would be cool if anybody would be able to write anything to say goodbye to us. I think Jerry wrote a poem and it was really cool, and Paul wrote stuff, and I'm going to stop talking about that, but if anybody would like to write anything, you can write about how much I suck and it will be forever immortalized in this book or something. That would be, I have no idea, but that would be cool. That would be very cool, so I'm going to pass that around, but
That's very ambiguous, you know, never mind.
well, I guess you don't have to sign your name. I don't know. But what I was going to say is that I should be collecting money and whatever I can for our great features this evening. I know that they're going to be here. I know they're going to make it. So I'm putting, put a lot of stuff in here because these people are totally worth it. Mr. Poetry himself and Ross Berman, which is really, really cool because I know he's probably going to be coming in. So if he's like, well, I'm going to be later when I'm getting here and I might have to play before him. But if you're going to put anything and everything, I would love it. So it would be very cool. And I guess we'll pass around with the book. But before I call up, who is my next person?
James Harrelson.
Me. I don't even remember. Oh, God, it was Robin. See, that's right. I don't have my list with me. And I'm just like, I've got all these things and I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But, and if she would like this chapbook, I'm just writing different issues and reading something. This one is from cc&d magazine. This is volume 202, back from November 2009.
This is very sad sounding, which is not quite the same as the love she must feel now that she's just gotten engaged, but I'll let her talk about that. It's just really awesome. Which, this is very sad, but there's totally, it's talking, but it's about the idea of love, and it's called Couldn't Reach It. I know I was loved. I never thought I wasn't, but I think by the time I came around, and all the other kids were grown up, and all that love was in the air, and all those adult kids could catch it, and feel it, and reciprocate. And I grew up with all this love high up in the air. I couldn't see it. I could see it up there, but I knew it was there, but I couldn't touch it. I couldn't feel it. I couldn't reach it. So for me, and Robin's feeling some love right now. She's going to turn around and make it all triple plus awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Robin Fine. And I guess I'm passing on stuff.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Don't you love it how this is taller than...
Oh, just tilt it.
I'm sorry,
We're
I
gonna
like the tall one.
Yay.
I just think it's funny. Janet, I know that you will definitely be missed. So in honor of Janet, I'm going to read one of my favorite all-time poems of hers. And this is one I'm going to send to her for the anthology.
I should do it quickly because
I know, I have to, I just rewrote a little bit of it, so I have to redo it and I'll send it to you. It's called I Want to Be the Color Red. I want to be the color red, blood red, orange, crimson red, dripping over open heart, scarlet red, dancing through organs, fiery sunset burned into skin. I want to be the color of passion, roses, thorns, inflicting heat, pain and ecstasy vibrating through muscle and tissue, pink flesh engulfed in the wetness of kisses. I want to be the color of sex, tongue exploring throat, thrust and penetration, salty liquid dripping from mouth to skin to female parts. I want to be left wet and panting. But you've chosen to live inside the color of gray, monotone shades of white on white, an empty house, no windows, no doors, nothing to welcome in the heat of a lover's breath. A screensaver light to soothe skin, microchips and keyboard to replace human touch. I want to be the color red, blood red, orange. You want to be the color of white, red mixed with white mixed pink. Did I tell you I hate the color pink? So you're getting that one. Past 6 weeks have been kind of crazy for me.
tell us
My
why.
dad has decided he was going to leave his house, move in with his lady friend, and he said, okay, you kids take care of it. And when you've got over 40 years worth of stuff in a house that's actually falling down, it gets to be stuff, and yes, we made it officially official, so. Yeah, it's officially official. We've been talking about it for a year. It's been unofficially official for a year, now it's official. So this is what I wrote in response to me having to deal with my dad's house. Make sure I have this in the right order. Yes. My father is walking away from his house. 40 years of memories and mementos to be cataloged, boxed, and distributed. He has fallen in love for the second time in his life. She is the fairy tale stepmother you wish you had if you had to have a stepmother. They are moving in together. My father has chosen to walk away from his house. 40 years of memories, mementos to be left for the junk man. He's always been a salesman, selling $1 million homes to people with $1 million bank accounts and $1 million wannabes. He's always been in love with the smell of ink drying on the pages of contracts. But with each sale, comes the midnight phone calls about squeaky doors and carpeting that wasn't quite the right shade or the grass that wasn't green enough. My father, the ever-diligent servant, was always there, available, at beck and call. With our house, it was different. His rose-colored glasses, the couch, the love of my mother and his children would be waiting for him when he got home. Never mind the basement would flood at least once a year. Never mind the roof was always in need of repair, leading to a collapse down the road. Never mind the giant willow trees that would get tangled in electrical lines and had to be cut down, or my mother's famous rose bushes that went wild. My father loved his house the way it was. I hated the house. It was always cold and damp and smelled of mildew and my mother's stale perfume. I never thought the house was actually reverse. That house was never my home. My mother and her butter knives made sure of that. Memories of hearing the knife shoved into the lock on my bedroom door, the door swinging open with vengeance. My mother's mantra would begin, "This is my house, not yours. I will go into any room I choose whenever I choose." It's funny. She never did this to my brothers. My father is walking away from his house, 40 years in the making. A cold, damp house that smelled of mildew and my mother's stale perfume. The cold would burrow itself just underneath the first layers of skin. No matter the number of socks or blankets, there was always this lack of warmth. Or maybe it was the people. Too many years have gone by to know which caused which, but the joke is on me. One brother lives out of town, the other brother is too busy between children's recitals, swimming practice, gymnastics, getting his hair cut. He's just too damn busy raising his own family. 40 years of memories, mementos have to be cataloged, boxed up, and sent off to destinations unknown. Did I say I always hated that house? Janet, I've always loved your poetry, but there is just one poem that has always spoken to me. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's very beastwoman-like. So I've always asked you to do this whenever I see you, and I get to do it tonight.
Yay!
So,
What is it?
I don't even know, does it have a name?
Astatine and a
Fantastic
car
Car
crash. You got
It's
it.
just I just love this poem. And our life is one big road trip now, and we set the cruise control and make our way down the expressway. And most of the time we're just moving in a straight line and the scenery blurs, there's nothing to see. But I know what's inside of you and I know what you're made of. There is no such thing as calm with you. You are a fantastic car crash. You stop traffic in both directions in your twisted way. You come from the decay of others, and what do you leave in your wake? More radioactive destruction as all around you slows down to stare. And all the gapers gawk as the decay grows. Everything shatters with you. You know, it's a spectacular explosion until your instability corrodes you down to the basics in the world. And yeah, what was left of you after you were gone is so much more stable than what you were. And still, I duck and cover as metal flies through the air every time you leave the scene of an accident. I am left picking up the shards of glass from the windows. You know, the glass breaks into such tiny little pieces, they look like ice. It takes too long to pick up those pieces, and even though I'm careful, I'm still picking up the pieces. After dealing with only fractional amounts of you, I've only been able to infer what you're like by knowing your brethren. Well, I am stuck here picking up the pieces, and I am still on my knees. The glass cuts into my hands because it was only after so much of your destruction that you left blood dripping down the street. Think of this as your contribution, this radioactive short-term flash of decay. Think of this as your contribution to this fantastic car crash. That is you, that is me, that is us. I've tried to learn, I've tried to study these microscopic parts of you to make sense of you. But whether or not you ever leave enough, despite your destruction, despite the decay of yours, I have to keep reminding myself that when it comes to you, this is what you do. This happens all the time, so I pull the glass out from my hands and I wave my hand to the line of traffic. Go ahead. Keep driving. This happens all the time. There is nothing left to see. Community next. I love this poem. This is you guys' amazing poem.
I've never heard anybody read a periodic table poem of mine before. Yay! Oh wait, actually on my birthday a couple people read Indium and Cesium. Jerry Pendergast read Cesium. I'm like, wait, people did read it, but that just
Your birthday.
yeah, like that just blows my mind hearing people read that. But before I call up my next guy, who is Michael Hoag, who's come a nice long way and he's so worth it, I thought I would read something from the most recent issue of Down the Dirt magazine. You could see the differences. They used to be saddle stitched and all cruddy like that. And this one is now released as a perfect bind ISBN book and is for sale on Amazon.com throughout the United States and Europe and the UK and blah, blah, blah. And if you want to know anything about it, you can go to scars.tv and find out stuff online. And so I was going to read this one because I thought you'd find it funny before Michael comes on up here. This is called Value from Nothingness.
But she didn't have
The unemployed lie around and do nothing, but those who work vacation so they can lie around and do nothing. What is the value of nothingness? Is the universe filled with nothingness or dark matter pulling on us, tugging on us, affecting us? What is the value of nothingness? Thank you. Please give up for Mr. Michael. Oh, come on over here, darling. Come on over, my darling. You're all my darlings. Oh, where you are.
Oh, Janet and John, I'm so sorry you guys are leaving. It's I don't know. You had a huge influence on my poetry, I think, and I don't know. It's such. I was just thinking about how it's so comfortable up on this stage. Everybody's looking. I got a microphone. I got these lights in my eyes. Very, very comfortable stage that you run, Miss Janet.
The readings will continue.
They will continue,
They won't be the same.
and yet they won't be the same. Yes. All right, so I didn't write anything for you because I don't write that fast, but
That's okay.
it starts very for salmonella.
That was your poem about me. You're the best.
My own girlfriend, Salmonella.
It's not that I think of you like
Salmonella.
For salmonella, use soap. Don't touch your face. Don't touch anyone's mouth. Just wash between each finger for 15 seconds. With chickens, give them your thumb. Held chickens will grab your hand and relax when holding something, circling anything like a branch, slowly tightening the perimeter. For your wine vinegar and my dilute vinegar, so we don't make a mistake at night, your vinegar goes by the door, and my vinegar goes by the door, and your vinegar stays on the bottom shelf. With asparagus, follow the color. Start at the perimeter and weed in a circle. Keep the light green asparagus on one side. For thumbs, hold the chicken. People like held hands and warm hands held, and have hands held tightened. For salmonella, sing 2 lines to estimate the time when washing your fingers if you don't have a clock and can't turn your wrist. To catch a chicken, spark in the dark. Chickens dodge people during the day. People easily catch chickens at night. Curl your fingers into a net, quickly drop your hands, grab at the fat part, smooth the feathers back, and hold like asparagus. And for chickens with salmonella, don't scrub, don't use soap, just dampen their claws with dilute vinegar. Chickens never touch their face and hardly ever touch anyone's mouth and rarely get sick like people do.
That's what I get for having to mingle around and actually talk to people. I don't even get to spend over time with you, and you were awesome, Michael. And I don't get to hear people enough that are going to go. And at least I get to have video copies because I seem to be the crazy video lady that does all this kind of stuff. And in the meantime, because he's already up here, I can't even say anything boo, but this guy's awesome. Please give him a screaming loud round of applause for Bob and Laura. Bob and Laura. It's because Mary had to do it.
Good evening.
Good evening.
There's something new and something old. Poet pics. Staring at me on Facebook, a photographic lattice. 4 rows, 4 columns, 16 thumbnails, every single one an image of a face and a microphone. Look at me. I'm at the mic. I am profound and important. My voice sounds out over the babble of information, increasing exponentially like the seething of the quantum vacuum at the Planck scale, generating the dark energy that propels the universe. I am triumphant, if only for a flashing moment preserved in a digital photograph. Fellow poets, these photos are tiresome. The same pose over and over and over and over and over. Yes, there is a sameness in the sky, the same blue dome over innumerable varying geologies. But poet mic pics cannot match the sky's majestic expanse or fearsome variety. Let us seek new settings, grasping a cue stick at a dive tavern, under flashing lights on a dance floor, on a rooftop shouting to the world, on the slopes and tops of mountains, within prairie grass and jungle vines, canyons and caves, ocean waves, on glaciers, under the matchless aurora. We are stewards of the imagination. How are we to restore the world's body, tethered to a metal tube?
All right.
And I reached a certain point where I saw my 1,000th picture of a face and a microphone, and it just got to me.
Well, it's fun to call you Rantin' Bob.
Yeah. And here's an old one. Me, my dad. It's kind of fitting with thinking about the end of, sort of an era here. Me, my dad, and George Sternweiss. 1. During the 1940s, my father delivered bread for Dugan's, bakers for the home since 1878, in Crestwood, the ritzy mansion section of Yonkers, New York. One of his customers was George Sternweiss. My father, 5 years older, always called him Georgie. New York Yankees second baseman who won the American League batting title in 1945 with a .309 average, lowest winning average in baseball history until the Avs hit .301 in 1968 and they lowered the pitcher's mound. 2. Georgie sold his Model A Ford to my father. The engine leaked oil, so my father rigged up a baking pan to catch the blackish-brown droplets and pour them back into the oil-filled hole. I loved the Model A because my dad would drive it to a crest on Gun Hill Road, rev the engine, and with gravity's assist, zoom down to the bottom of the slope where a frame-rattling bump propelled me up from the back seat where Joltin' Joe had once sat, so high that my head hit the roof of the car, unleashing a burst of 3-year-old glee. 3. At 9:16 a.m., September 15th, 1958, while I sat in first period at Calhoun High, George Sternweiss sprinted across the platform of the Jersey Central Station at Red Bank and jumped into the front car as it edged forward. The commuter train bound for Manhattan blew through 3 bright red stop signals, hurtled toward an opening drawbridge. The engineer, for reasons still unknown, did not apply the brakes until 8 feet from the steel-beamed mouth to nowhere. The front car, with the next 3 following, plunged like a bomb into Newark Bay, and George Sternweiss never surfaced. 4. During the 70s, when I urged my father to exercise, he laughed over his beer. Hey, if Georgie Sternweiss was in my shape, he would have missed that train to Jersey, and he'd still be alive today. During the 80s, while I drove him over lush green wetlands and briny bay to Jones Beach, my father screamed through the haze of dementia, "There are no sharks in the Atlantic Ocean!" Now, as I approach the last train to nowhere, I too defy logic. For in dimly lit coffee houses and bars, I cry out, "Please sit next to me in the back seat of Georgie Sternweiss's Model A Ford." I got someone's poem here. Manic depression is touching my soul.
Jimi Hendrix.
Somebody's lyrics probably.
I thought it was mine. Yeah.
Oh, you were on that. I thought you were on another piece. Well, thank you very much. I'll learn, but I'm going to be scribbling things down.
Eric Esden.
I see Eric Esden, which means I'm going to have to add them to the list, and I am going to let you know. Esden. The next person that's going to be up, I'm going to read really short ones here, but Dan Weinberg. Paging Dr. Schmooze. Paging Dr. Schmooze. He's going to get next. And after that, I've got just everybody here's it: Elizabeth Marino, Jason Noah, Don Harghraves, Eric Esden. These are the people I got on the list.
Jason's here.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just hanging out in the back of the bar because that's where I like to be. So I was going to read it because for people that are showing up late, I've got old issues of cc&d, and if they want a copy, please take it. Maybe I'll hand this to Dan himself as we're leaving. This is a really short one, it's very sad, because that's how I roll. It's called Escape. While in the hospital, I knew my body had to recover, but for my soul, being in the hospital was like drowning every day, week after week. I was gasping for air while looking for a way to escape. That's how you can feel sometimes, escape. And I know there are happier pieces in here, I swear. So please, and I'm sure. Sorry, paging Dr. Schmooze. I'm such an idiot. I'm sorry. Please do it for Dan Weinberg. I got a lot of people that have it. It's for you. Yay.
Thanks, Janet.
Thank you.
Good luck in Texas
Thank you.
to you and John. I'm sure you'll express yourself there too.
We're gonna be slackers.
Okay, this is a serious letter. I didn't write it, but it's a letter on if you're having trouble expressing yourself and you have doubts and fears. So this is how it goes. Just stop thinking, worrying, looking over your shoulder, doubting, fearing, hurting, hoping for some easy way out, struggling, groping, grasping. Stop it and just do. Do it. Don't worry about cool. Make your own uncool. Make your own. Make your own world. If you fear, make it work for you. Draw and paint your fear and anxiety, or write your anxiety and fear. You must practice being stupid, dumb, unthinking, empty. Then you will be able to do. Try to do some bad work, the worst you can think of, and see what happens. But mainly relax and let everything go to hell. You are not responsible for the world. You are only responsible for your work. So do it. And don't think that your work has to conform to any preconceived form, idea, or flavor. It can be anything you want it to be. I know that you or anyone can only work so much, and the rest of the time you are left with your thoughts. But when you work, when you work or before you work, you still have to deal with your mind and concentrate on what you are doing. After you do something, it is done, and that's that. After a while, you can see some things are better than others, but you can see what direction you are going. I'm sure you know all that. You also must know that you don't have to justify your work, not even to yourself. Thank you.
I just get a little treat from him and then he leaves. Snuff. And no, I'm not going to read something, but I will talk about upcoming readings or features or whatever for myself. And if anybody else has anything to spout or tout or praise of their own, please feel free to. This Saturday, I am going to be on
WZRD Chicago Radio 88.3 FM, and the only reason I'm holding this book in my hand is because I'm going to be interviewed and I'm probably going to be talking about a new book release. And it's not really a poetry book, but it is a bunch of journals and a photo book of things about being in India. And there's whole sections of images in here from the Taj Mahal, and there's a bunch of cool stuff. And it's interesting because you talk about dealing with a woman going to a country where there's sexism like mad, but there's also a caste system, and everything is so incredibly foreign that it's a fascinating experience to go through. So we'll probably be talking about that because this book just was released right before that. The next day, on Sunday, the 26th, I believe? The 26th Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's Beach Poets, and I'm the only feature that's there. So come on out to the beach where that is, right by the Heartland Cafe thing up north at 12:30 in the afternoon. And
What time?
12:30. It's not late. It's because it'll be really stupid hot then. But I think she has it earlier in the day. I don't know if it's regularly like that or what. But 12:30 on Sunday.
This Sunday?
This Sunday. Sunday. And the only other feature thing I've got going on that I know I'm in town for is the day before we leave to go to Ohio and then to Texas is I'm going to be featuring with the Bob and Bob Show, because I think they should have talked about that, because they will be performing in a show together at Let Them Eat Chocolate.
That's right. Bob number 1 with Bob Lawrence and Bob number 2.
And then you two of your
What's the
featured.
date, Janet?
It is Friday, August 14th.
Oh, 14.
And I think it starts at 7:30, 7 or 7:30.
Yeah, 7:30, and we're going to do a little vaudeville like we usually do, and then read a few poems, and Bill Yarrow and Pamela Miller are going to perform.
It's the Bob Rob Show with Pam and Bill.
With Pam
Pam and Bill.
And he said because you're leaving it, you read it. So I'm going to read, I think I've got 3 new pieces in there. Moody, emotional, weird, but that's like me, so there you go, and that's enough of me talking. And who is up next? I believe it was my Elizabeth, my darling, so please, I'm so excited that she is here. I never see her, so please, give it up for Elizabeth Morrissey. This thing moves in.
Thank you, Janet. And I just didn't want to miss the last couple.
And, you know, if features aren't showing up, we might be doing our singing before.
We'll
figure that out, because we're going to be doing a music.
Ross had something on Facebook since he's telling people to come here, so he knows.
You know, well, he's going to be coming here for the thing after this, so I know he's coming. So, I know he'll be.
This is the second to the last one.
This is where I'm doing the music thing, because I knew
It's
that
the
you knew.
penultimate.
According to the Bobster, yes, exactly.
This one was actually accepted in an anthology that just came out last week. In India, the publishers are in Gambia, and the editor is Nigerian. It's kind of an interesting thing called the musical piece. However, they didn't include this after they accepted it and then didn't include it. So there's another one called Asylum, and I just kind of erased her from teaching teenagers about poetry and didn't bring my paper version. So this is kind of like a draft version of that second poem. I call it A Litany for Peace. Pick up a rock, set it down. Pick up a rock, set it down. Books bound into submission, eyes to ground, get it down, eyes to ground. Bombs become embers to light the underbrush, set it down. And I have the worst handwriting. Lights up the universe, lights up the faucets. We live our lives on cold streets. Across the field, we can only watch. Set it down, set it down, set it down now. And the anthology is called The Muse of Peace. It's a pacifist international
Is that all you were reading, my darling?
It's all I have that's in, it's like my list for the laundromat and stuff.
That's your list for the laundromat. Well, thank you very much. And because I never get to see her, please give it up once more for Elizabeth. I was going to say, I've got 3 men coming up, and I have 1 poem for an old issue of cc&d that I wanted to read. I don't think it's appropriate for, yeah, if you could, John, I couldn't. I don't think it's appropriate as a thing for an intro to any of these people because they're all awesome. The next person I was calling up was Jason Noah, and then Don Harghraves, and then Eric Esden. So this is not related to any of them, but this is from the August '09 issue of cc&d, and Jason, you can take this off of my hands because there are a lot of things in here other than this little goofy thing in here by me called Evil Floats. Evil floats. It's lighter than air. It will always rise to the top. I think kind of like the foam of beer, actually. I was thinking when I thought of that. But in the meantime, if anybody wants to know about the magazines, let me know. If Jason, my darling, is ready, drink in hand or not, please give it up for Jason Noah.
Short hair. Oh, I'm always a mess myself. We're in good company.
Yay! Yes.
Here's the floating evil and the slam that it makes when it lands.
Very good.
Would you like a book?
Oh, sure. Oh, did
I
I
got
just?
extra copies.
You know, I think I got. You know, I'll take another one. I'll throw it in the free book box if I had it at the time. No, the free book boxes, people, it's like the most popular bookshop in town. It's like always empty.
Stay as sweet as you are.
Like my brain. Here it is. Deal made with a likeness you fear. You will want to chase you into the nearest ne'er-do-well storage facility. Stranger names you baby. Imp fanning inferno. Feel better about not being one. Presiders chant, wire their heads to barrels anchored with mandated plasma, murmuring in palms. Multiversal bills of lading, tucked in the vulnerary, petals melting oil on the canvas of an ancient sibling's refurbished skin. That's all I have for this week. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
You want an old one?
Sure.
Well, I mean, it's old, like 2 months old.
Versus my old, this was from 22 years ago.
But when you do it like every week, then it gets old really quickly. I'm referring to my own skimpy repertoire.
Okay.
Repertoire. I need to go to France for a couple of months so I can learn how to talk like a real
Probably
native.
in Francais.
No, sprechen Sie Deutsch. Kisses, burning, blowing. Monster wish, perpetuation. Oh, your conversions. Oh, your convert freezations. White algorithm zeitgeist. Ow, I. Ow, finger. Woe, muscle. Enunciation. Projection. Movement. Password refreshing. BB blues living. River jumper, boat puller. Canned acid. Lit a fire, oh me. Oh, to be your bicycle seat. Thanks, and to the next time with Janet and John.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, are you featuring coming up?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be at Elizabeth's next month, so yeah, I better get to work.
August.
Get ready.
It's Wednesday in August. Is the 12th?
The 12th.
See, I should know
12,
these
13
things.
something.
I should know these things already. Yeah, it's August 12th, second Wednesday of the month. I don't know any dates.
And so,
Yeah, and Elizabeth's crazy little thing. Phyllis is. You all know where it is. I expect everybody there because I need to make a little run of some shit. Thank you.
No, thank you, Jason. Awesome. And I don't know if I can make it to that with the moving and stuff. And yeah, I didn't even mention it. 2 weeks from now, Jerry Pendergast is going to be featuring, and it's very possibly my last feature, my last hosting of this open mic. Now, 2 weeks after that, Dave Getchick happens to be the feature, and he is also taking over as host.
So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out, but I think it's probably a perfect way to introduce him for this open mic because I think everybody knows Dave Getchik and loves Dave Getchik. So I think it'll be really, really cool. So I am holding this in my hand because I forgot to say, I think I sent out an email, but by the way, I've got a crate of books, of past books of mine. I mean, like, not saddle-stitched little magazine things, but like perfect bound 200-page, 400-page books. I've got collection books and stuff. And I think he's sticking out his hands like he's being like the flag, the semaphore. He's using it for semaphores with these books. Any book's $2 a pop. There are huge collection books in there. There are things by groups of people in there or whatever. It's just more stuff for me to carry. If anybody wants to buy them, they're there. And I have to tell you about Patrick Curley and Water of Life Press because he occasionally does chapbooks that are made out of paper bags. And he actually did it once from Lisa Heminger and people, and I think there's a list of them here. Awesome. But he did one of mine. Unzip the Body Bag, and it's got some select short poems in here. And even though he probably would want more for, if I was to sell these, I would sell these for $2 as well. They are numbered, they are signed, and they're in paper bags, which is really, really awesome. And I'm not going to read any of these things in here for you, but if anybody wants a copy, please come bug me, because I just got them and they're really, really cool. And now, once again, I've just had Jason now, I think I had Don Harghraves, and then Eric Esden. I had to remember last two readers. So please, I've got another tall guy here who's awesome. So please give it up for Don Harghraves, my darling. Thank you. I have to go hugging everybody because this is my child. Everybody's there.
Okay. First, I'll read my latest poem, a rather odd one actually. Guys don't make passes at boys who wear glasses. When I entered into the room, I heard a man talking about his new smartphone app he was making. And he said, I'm making it with big, brightly colored buttons so that people working out will be able to enter their information without pausing from one's exercise. He waited for one beat, then said, that's what I'm telling the app stores. My real target is young, nearsighted gay men trying to impress other gay men in dark bars. After all, guys don't make passes at boys who wear glasses. And those men are going to want to use their smartphones without pressing an overly bright screen upon their nose, just as he who's been texted what's been texted to them via Grindr. At that moment, I saw in my mind some 18-year-old boy visiting the gay bar for the second time since making it to the university. And I wonder if those taunts he flung at some newly bespectacled girl in elementary school, in jest though, she didn't read it that way, entered into his mind, ironically or not, as he adjusted his eyes to the fuzzy froth of masculinity in front of him. Now, a couple of older poems. This one's titled Echolalia. Shh. Quiet. Listen. Hear that? A change in the background noise. Two sounds harmonized into one. Somebody said God's name. I know it's his name, because everywhere men go, we change silence into noise, harmony into cacophony. But when his name is said, you hear a hint of the beauty we were meant to live under. One of these days, I'll hear his name well enough to repeat it. Peace and harmony will follow. Until then, I listen and repeat. Listen and repeat. Listen and repeat. And one more poem, this one's entitled, An 8-ounce bag of Starbursts. What do you mean it's all downhill from here? One evening I took a walk through balmy late spring weather from work through the pouring gay district, the hospital, the alternate business zone, the lower class rental places, the mall and car lots, the west side student ghetto, till I finally made it into downtown East Lansing, where, deciding to stay away from the arcade for once, I headed over to the 7-Eleven for a big gulp and an 8-ounce bag of Starburst original fruit chews. After that, I walked home, ate a few fruit chews while checking out email, chatting with online friends, and listening to a CD I'd gotten a few weeks before, and then read a few pages of a book I bought at a nearby bookstore before going to bed for the night. That walk would now only show the remains of cartoon gentrification, bloat, or pseudo-benign neglect, depending on where you happen to walk past. Only the 7-Eleven stands as what it was. Take that for what it's worth. Had I been told then that this was as good as things would get, I would have laughed at the news bearer's face. After all, it's not like things had begun to fall apart. As long as I didn't have to find my way into mainstream society, I would have had no problem with things staying as they were. Thank you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I've got 2 people on the list. I have nothing to say. We've got Eric Esden coming up next, so he better be moving his ass over here. And then you've got a newbie, Karen. I'm so looking forward to screaming like an idiot for you. But in the meantime, please give it up for Eric Esden. Come here, my darling. Where's my darling? That's right there. I've got a spot for you.
Today I try to focus myself on older poems. Love. Another night. Oh, hello? Hello? Another night, you said, when I was feeling so bad, by now I should know you love me, even though reading some old poem I was too intense. I said to you in the verse, not me, the art of mine is intense. I did not mean to hurt anybody, even though I had some. It was you. So moreover, by expression of your face, I learned that you love me, and this is not BS. So you love me that much. Why you have that feeling of being hurt? If by you, I'm dead loved, why do I feel so sad? In addition, tell me, what kind of love is that? What is your love all about? For me, the love is a trembling kiss. The love is vibrating clouds. The love is embraced bodies. The love is a touch. The love is a dream. The love is making love. Am I missing anything? Yeah, why am I missing it so much? The love is a whisper. The love is your ear. Just you and only you in my dreams. Love is all being together when the moon does not want to stop. Smile when the night never ends. When the day is so cruel, because take us apart. This is my destiny of love. Why I'm still alone, even though I'm being loved this much. Nirvana. Grey days, months and years, one after another passed. Never to row my soul, nor the vision or mine. Violently broken ocean cliff, the close of passing time. Dismembering all in one to the extent that it is sensitive. And knew the count, when right from the sky, burning the weeds with the tattoo of mine. Along the passing time, enabling me to sense the flowers, the meadow and its grass, the feeling and so much awaited touch, telling me how chosen, how lucky I am because of you. I can touch the bloom of love again, so comforting state, so flourishing nirvana, my flourishing nirvana, my dreams in which I intend to stay. In my dreams, I'm flying high, in the blue sky of your eyes. In my dreams, I dive in deep into the sea of your arms. In my dreams, I'm caressing the god of hair by the wind of my love. In my dreams, I'm kissing the cherry of your lips, being possessed by its sweetness. In my dreams, I'm obsessed by the art and sculpture of your legs. In my dreams, I'm surrounded by the gentle splendor of your hands. God, why are you so cruel? Give me her at once, or never awake me from my painful sleep. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't forget your precious beer. Yeah.
And I don't know if we have the time for this or not, just because I'm going to be leaving. After I call up my newbie, my Karen. I hope my Karen is around there. I can't really see in the light really well. I think I see her coming up here. But if before everybody leaves, after her, could we like get around and take a group shot so that I can have a photo with you guys? Would that be too much to ask to do something, or would that take too much time? Everybody's like, I don't want to take a picture. What? All right.
I'll join with you, Janet.
Yay! Awesome, please. Now I want everybody to scream like you.
Scream.
Oh well, scream with joy and really for anything. Please give it up for Karen. Thank you.
Sorry, it's going to take a second for my tablet to boot up because it was almost out of juice.
And it's nice that somebody came up here to be able to read off of a tablet or a phone or something. Because as I'm so old school with my big writing and stuff.
I would rather have paper, but I didn't have any when I was writing recently. Hi everyone, my name's Karen. My poetry is not actually titled, but okay, my phone's telling me I'm almost out of juice. I haven't been on a stage in a long time, so forgive my nerves. Remember that moment I gave you my heart? That's not part of it. Treat her gently. She is fragile and has been hurt. You promised you would with a love so deep. It became my bane and I grew weak. A love so intense it made me insane. Words of love became inane. I never professed to be perfect or clear. I wanted to love you and give you no fear. Things began to fall and unravel. Your heart and dreams began to travel. My children, the music, and finally the women. I swore I'd be strong and turn away and go. I thought of all the love I had to bestow. You looked in my eyes and said never again. But it did, and I died the moment I discovered. There was no pause, no moment of thought. I drowned in my sorrows and anger and hurt. I fucked it all up. I wanted to be the one that would never, the one that you knew loved you forever. I screamed and I cried, but my death was so final. You tell me you love me, and still remain her confidant and friend. But to what end? She has connections, you say, that are important to you. I thought I was important too. Yet you stand by my side and profess your devotion. I accept your words, devoid of emotion. Your love is for you, never intended for me. I close my eyes, but even the blind can see. The definition of love abounds with nice thoughts. The reality resounds, a soul so fraught. I drink down the pills, first 1, then 5, now 20 and 24. My end is near. You wait for a moment and it's all so clear. Accept what you want, but dismiss what's dear. Clinging to hope as frail as a thread, each moment of each day is filled with dread. Am I really alive or just the walking dead? It is within your control to unleash me completely. You hold on so tightly to assuage your guilt. My emotions run through my head, accelerating full tilt. The thread is frayed, my nerves are shot. Settling in, the anxiety increases. Opening my heart exposes my weakness. I beg for a sign that your words are true. I don't speak my fears, I revile from clues. Your truth is circumstantial, your actions are steel, awaiting the moment your words are real. In purgatory I exist, following the basics. I'm running in place. My existence is baseless. Okay, this one I wrote in therapy. Did you get the idea that I might need a little of that?
This is therapy.
Hurricane of hurt raining down, stripping the neighborhood of my psyche, tearing and spinning out of control. My sense of duty is lost in the fray. Holding tight to the memory of time, I dissolve. The rain washes away the me I once was. The hail of anxiety hammers a new form. Shaking and cold, I stand in the eye, waiting for the moment for it to begin again.
Yeah.
Okay. And this should recognize this one. I walk away from the fear to the darkness of your embrace, holding tight to the dream, nay, the nightmare that is mine. My body quakes against you, soft skin, gentle set. Full lips travel down your body, memorizing every flavor and sensation, diluting our bodies into fluid motion. Hands stroking and gripping, my back arching, offering everything to you, my heart as open as my hands. Holding tight to you, I feel the moment you exhale deeply into me, freeing me, feeling me, eyes meeting, you knowing. Oh, yes, I need that.
Give it up one more time for her.
And I've just seen Russ really good, so I'm going to ask everybody to have like a 2-minute break so you can keep Tressa extra busy for a few minutes. Maybe it'll be a 5-minute break if everybody's willing to take a picture during that break. And then we're going to have a great, awesome guitar feature from Ross Berman. So thank you.